things are going really great for you. I know that I had a blast in my 40s. I had a blast, and I met you at the tail end of my 40s. But according to research and surveys, according to the Center for Economic Performance at the London School of Economics, that's kind of redundant, isn't it?
Whoa.
The Center for Economic Performance at the London School of Economics. Now, don't read my notes. I like to surprise you with stuff, and you always look over my shoulder.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not making me very happy.
We'll get to it.
That our peak happiness occurs at age 23.
What?
And then again at age 69.
No.
I have a very hard time believing that. Now, also, I think they're doing averages. So if you take a bunch of high ones and low ones and average them together, I guess you come out with 23. Same case with 69. I don't know how that can be, because I think the 20s, at least for me, are the biggest growth years for you. As far as it's kind of like your lost years when you're trying to figure out who you are and your identity and what you want to do in life. It's very confusing. I was working all these part-time jobs. I was having a good time going out and stuff, but I still felt a sense of loss and no direction.
In your 20s?
In my 20s.
Yeah.
And yet they're saying 23. So that's about the age you graduate college.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think you'd have the stress of getting a job and establishing, your autonomy. I don't know. What about 23 is attractive?
I don't know.
Besides you're, cute at 23.
I moved to Dallas when I was 21. I turned 21 that summer. And if I think back, I had a pretty good job, but I also had a lot of expenses as a recent college graduate. I didn't have any money.
Right.
It was hard,
Yeah.
I remember that being tough. Like, I thought, well, now I'm out on my own. I got my own place and I got a good job, so I can go party and do whatever I want to at any time. Not so much. I was just working to pay my rent.
I think a lot of people look on those struggling years as you look back on them nostalgically and say, those are some good times. But then 69, I'm thinking you've let go a lot of all the petty stuff that used to worry you. You've let all that go. You're kind of more free to speak your mind. You know how old people get when they just say whatever and they don't care about the consequences. But then again, mortality is knocking at your door. And I would think, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I guess with age, you kind of lose your fear of dying because there is an element of fear. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know that necessarily I've had really happy years, but I'd like to think the happiest is still yet to come, right? That it's not a downward slide until you get to 69, apparently.
I was just thinking, well, that you were saying right there, that I think you get to a point, though, where you start thinking about your mortality a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like in your 20s, did you ever think about dying?
No, never.
Never. That's why you do a lot of stupid crap.
Yeah.
Because
and the stupidest die.
Yeah.
Do stupid things.
But when I don't know, when you get to be, I guess, around our age, you start, at least I do, I kind of think back now a lot about, gosh, look at how far I've come. And
it went like that.
And it went like that. And now I have another.
And now I'm going to die in a minute.
What do I got? Another 20 years or something?
I hope you have longer than that, honey, because I hope I do too. And I don't want to be alone. But you know what? They also did this. Okay, so age thing, right? Either you've reached it and it's all downhill from here, or you got something to look forward to, right? There was a research journal called the Weather, Climate, and Society, and they said the ideal temperature for us to feel happy. I have a problem with this one too. Guess. Your ideal happy temperature.
72 degrees.
Nope. Lower.
Okay. 62
Lower.
degrees. Come on. I'm not happy when I'm freezing.
57.
Oh.
57. Now, I will say this. There's a difference between 57 and sunny.
This is a London study, right?
Well, they're just saying, I don't know.
I thought you said it was from the century of London.
No, that was the first one.
Oh.
This is Weather, Climate, and Society.
Oh, sorry.
57 and sunny is beautiful. Fresh air, cool air in your lungs. I get that feeling. You put on a jacket and you're good to go. 57 when it's cloudy and cold and miserable, I like that. 57 in a house, I'm miserable. I mean, it would be,
it's
freezing.
That's what it was in our podcast room last time we did a podcast.
It was not.
Remember that?
It was not.
I had on this Game of Thrones blanket over my head.
You haven't been that cold in the house. And that's what they say. So whether you believe it or not, I just thought that was interesting. And I just shared that for no other reason. But you know what a big happiness is, and this is not by study, this is my own personal opinion. I think anybody can argue with this, that one of the biggest indicators of personal happiness is getting enough sleep.
Before we get into that sleep thing,
yes,
I have discovered the key to happiness, and I posted this on my social media.
Really did?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It took me 40 years, but I finally finished. I finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Avoid assholes. You avoid assholes, that's the key to happiness.
But how do you do that?
Well, because you're more able to identify who the a-holes are.
And you just cut them out of your
life.
And
you just cut them out of your life. And if you can cut them all out,
wow.
Think about that. You just cut out all the a-holes out of your life. How much happier are you going to be?
Don't you need those types of people to balance out so you recognize you need bad to recognize good?
That's true. But a wise man once told me, the world is filled with assholes. So as soon as you cut 2 or 3 out, you're going to run into 2 or 3 more. And then you got to figure out what you're going to do with them.
That was very helpful, Alan.
That's what I've learned.
It's very helpful.
And I think it's right. I think that's right.
Okay.
I know you don't like me saying a-hole on the podcast.
A lot.
Well, I can say it again.
Go ahead and get it out of your system.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
ahead.
Anyway,
I subscribe. I don't know why. I subscribe to a lot of newsletters, and Oprah being one of them. And I found this article that she published recently about how not getting enough sleep is actually worse than we all think. Yeah, you're cranky. Yeah, maybe your face is looking a little haggard. But they say in this article I read that about 1 in 3 Americans get fewer than 7 hours of sleep per night. 1 in 3 of us, fewer than 7 hours.
I know who one of them is.
I'm one of those.
That'd be one Kellie Rasberry Evans.
And a lot of it is my fault. I should just go to bed, not turn on my phone, not check Twitter. I've been in the Twitter rabbit hole lately. I can't get out of it. Every night I have to just check, to see what's trending. And then I start following comments and stuff. And it's just, I'm obsessed lately. I've got to stop doing that. But they said in this article, if you think that you're one of those people that, you know what, I get about 6 hours a night. I average about 5 to 6 hours, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you go to bed late. You've been going to bed late, like 10:30, and then you have to get up at 4.
I'm getting less. I'm probably getting like 5. So anyway, if you think you're one of these people that gets by on 6 hours of sleep, here's what they said you should do. Try as an experiment sitting in a quiet, dark room and hold a pencil in your hand. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just relax. So you're in a quiet, dark room. There's no noise. You're holding a pencil in your hand. You set the timer on your phone for 5 minutes. If you drop the pencil within those 5 minutes, that means you probably dozed off. That's because sleep pressure builds up, and that's the official term for our urge to sleep. The urge to sleep becomes overwhelming. Like when you're tired driving, you just can't. The urge to sleep kicks in, and the brain will grab any opportunity for a micro cat nap, even if it's just for half a second. So if you drop that pencil, if you could sit there and you're well rested, you can just sit there and breathe and relax and be cool, and you'll hold the pencil fine. But if you're sleep deprived, you're probably going to drop the pencil. They said that's just a test. Okay.
Is this why I fall asleep on the pot a lot?
Wow.
Because it's quiet and dark.
Aren't you usually on your phone, and that's something to keep you awake?
I've been sitting on the pot before and fallen asleep and then dropped the phone.
Off the toilet?
No, I've never fallen off the pot, but I've dropped my phone.
You've called me from the pot. Alan loves doing that.
I do that.
That's hilarious.
All
right. So in one study, they said people who slept only 6 hours a night or less for 2 weeks. So if you're going through a phase like, you've got a lot going on at work and or maybe a new baby or something, and you're sleeping only 6 hours or less a night for 2 weeks, you will score as poorly on tests for attention, memory, and reaction times as those who had been up for 2 nights straight, like not getting any sleep for 48 hours. Not getting enough sleep makes us vulnerable to car crashes, medical errors. Doctors and nurses who are lacking sleep, industrial accidents, and a whole bunch of chronic illnesses. It said research shows sleep deprivation costs the United States economy up to $411 billion in lost productivity each year, makes us crankier, and it gives us crow's feet.
You ever fallen asleep in a meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
So maybe, okay, they say, and one thing is sleepiness leads to crankiness, and it also leads to extreme paranoia. Like if I haven't slept and Alan gets upset with me because I forgot to pick up the dry cleaning or something he had asked me to do, or I just forgot something. And then I feel like I can't, how many times have you heard me say this? And I say it a lot. I just can't do anything right lately. I just can't do anything right. That's part of the sleep deprivation thing. It says when you're tired and you're really sleep deprived, you are less equipped to handle life.
I believe that.
It can affect your emotional control. It can affect the regulation of your emotions. It affects our ability to think a few steps ahead, like you can't predict. You know how sometimes you're thinking ahead, oh, the consequence, you can't think like that. Every interaction seems worse than it actually is. They said in studies, 2 nights of no sleep significantly increases your symptoms of depression and paranoia, and also increases your anxiety levels.
I believe all that. Now, what if you're sleep deprived and you're calorie deprived?
That's just, that's a whole new animal, right?
How are you,
lots of naps.
How are we even functioning, especially you, but how are we even functioning right now?
Because we're doing it the right way. Now, you've heard the term punch drunk, where people are like slap happy, giddy, and punch drunk is like you really feel like you're intoxicated. They said that worker fatigue is believed to have contributed to the crash of the Exxon Valdez. It's contributed to the nuclear reactor meltdown of 3 Mile Island.
Whoa.
They said worker fatigue is partially to blame for the explosion of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Exhausted people are slower to react. They are less aware of their surroundings. They operate with impaired judgment, just like someone who has too much to drink.
What about the Titanic?
I don't know.
Wasn't that?
I don't know if he was tired, but they said drowsy driving is just as dangerous as getting behind the wheel after drinking a little too much. Let's say you go to bed at midnight and get up at 6 a.m. Or like me, 11-ish and 4-ish. That's about, I'm getting less than 6 hours a night of sleep. But a lot of people, that's their rhythm. That's their pattern. Midnight to 6, that's their sleep. For a 140-pound woman, that's the only figures I have here. They say getting only 6 hours of sleep is equivalent to drinking 2 glasses of wine in 1 hour, which would give you a blood alcohol content of 0.05%. Below the legal limit, but still slightly impaired. Going without sleep for an entire night can be drinking like drinking 4 glasses of wine in 2 hours. That's equivalent to 0.10%, which would be legally drunk. Going without sleep for a whole night and then driving.
Yeah, but what I've noticed when I'm sleep deprived, not only do I feel like I'm drunk, I'm really irritable.
That's it too. That's one of the things I just went over.
It's like I get real grumpy.
But it's also not only affecting your moods, it's affecting your body. It affects your brain. They said that it affects the brain's cortex to the point where when you're asleep, your brain is clearing out waste. Like your dreams are dumping out the thoughts and stuff, that your brain is like clearing out waste. And there's some sort of protein that's being dumped when you sleep. And if you're not getting enough sleep, you're not dumping enough of that protein. And those could clump together and start to form the hallmark plaques of Alzheimer's.
Did you just say dump a protein?
Yep, dumping beta amyloid proteins. I just went ahead and said proteins because it's a lot of science words I don't understand.
Okay.
So that can affect and maybe cause Alzheimer's. It also affects the heart. Healthy adults who sleep 5 or fewer hours per night are 50% more likely to have stiffer blood vessels and arterial plaque buildup than people who sleep at least 7 hours. So you're risking cardiovascular disease. It also affects your muscles because too little sleep leads the brain to release hormones that impair muscle growth. So if you do a lot of exercise, bodybuilding, you're not having enough muscle recovery during sleep and you're prone to injuries. It affects breast health, women. It increases your risk for breast cancer. Sleep-deprived postmenopausal women are likely to be diagnosed with aggressive later-stage tumors. This is not just about being cranky and having bags under your eyes.
It's not the tumor.
It affects your GI system.
Yeah.
It exacerbates GI issues such as Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, digestive issues can also be a cause of you staying up at night. You need to see a doctor about that. It affects your kidneys. For every hour under 7 by which you currently sleep, you're increasing your likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes by 9%. That's for every hour under 7.
Okay, so let me ask something.
Isn't this crazy? I have no idea.
Then I have a couple of questions. Number one, why are we up late recording this podcast asking all these nice people to stay late with us when they should be sleeping?
It's not that late.
And then number two, why aren't we asleep?
I know.
Because now I'm all nervous about not sleeping.
Well, that's my thing, honey, is we're going to have to start going to bed and not bringing our phones to bed. That's what's our problem.
Listen to this one. Listen to this one.
It's our problem.
Last night.
I just admitted
I know, but I'm in the, and Kelly had told me this. We're not going to take our phones to bed anymore, okay? We're not taking our phones to bed. I'm like, okay. So last night, I'm brushing my teeth and in the mirror, and I look over in the bed.
I'm on Twitter.
There's Kelly. She is laying there like tut, got the phone on her chest, thumbs going a million miles an hour.
I was on Twitter.
I didn't say a word.
I admitted it.
I didn't say a word.
I admitted it.
I just wanted on the record that I didn't say a word.
It increases your chances of getting colon cancer. Less than 6 hours, you have a 50% greater risk of benign tumors that are in most cases a precursor to colon cancer. Immune system. Let's see. You're more likely to get colds. Weight loss is affected. Sleep loss is associated with weight gain and obesity. And skin can cause, of course, we know the fine lines, the dark spots. It also exacerbates eczema and psoriasis. It increases inflammation and triggers flare-ups. Nighttime itchiness from these disorders can disrupt sleep, compound the problem. So there you go. I have given you a bunch of information that is negative, but hopefully that negative information will make you take a positive action. And Alan, we're going to have to start getting better sleep. And that means no more phones.
Now, seriously, here's what I was thinking as you were going through all this. I'm thinking, okay, I get it. Not getting good sleep really screws your body up.
And it makes me look sad. It makes you, it said also in your face, it makes you have a downturned mouth.
Right.
Look at my face all the time.
So don't take the phones to bed. If you have a sleep apnea problem or a snoring problem, get that checked out. Mm-hmm. We have said that on probably half the podcast. That has changed my life. I'm telling you what, when it comes to sleeping now, I feel so much better than I used to.
You could feel better. Look, sleep-deprived people can appear to have droopier eyelids, swollen eyes, dark under-eye circles, paler skin, and downturned corners of the mouth.
That's you.
Look at me.
That's you.
I'm so tired.
Droopier eyelids, swollen eyes, dark under-eye circles. Well, that's me. Paler skin. That's you. That's definitely you. Right. And downturned corners of the mouth.
So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about the sleep thing, but we're going to get ours under control. I thought that was a very, very helpful article. One of the most helpful I found on Oprah lately.
Oh,
thank you, Oprah.
Heck yeah. If it came from Oprah, it's true.
Well, she has some good stuff.
She does. She has some good stuff.
She's getting ready to sit down and interview 2 people. Who is she getting ready to interview? Oh, she's getting ready to interview the 2 guys who are now adults who say they were molested by Michael Jackson. That Finding Neverland documentary that's coming out. Have you guys, I don't know, Alan, we're going to have to get HBO for a minute.
Well, there was some weirdness going on at that Neverland.
I know. 2 of the guys that say they were seduced by Michael Jackson when they were little boys, they've done this documentary that was released at a film festival, Park City, was it the Sundance Film Festival, I think? And they said it was so upsetting that they had counselors and therapists in the lobby when the movie got out in case people needed to talk about it. It was that upsetting. And of course, the Jackson family's trying to block it, but Oprah's going to sit down with the two now grown, one of them, Wade Robson, he's the most one that I know, that was the choreographer that had the affair with Britney Spears that led to her breaking up with Justin Timberlake. I mean, come on. And talks about that experience. So I need to see Oprah's interview and we need to get HBO.
All I know about Michael Jackson is he had a pet chimp, okay? That's
Bubbles.
Weird. That's weird.
That's the weirdest thing about him?
Oh, no, he also had the bones of the Elephant Man. That's a little weird too.
Well, people collect weird things when they're rich. But I'll tell you this, it's going to be interesting to see because, R. Kelly now, he has still got a lot of fans who want to support despite all the accusations against him. But there's been this big #mute R. Kelly movement. Are we going to see that with Michael Jackson after this documentary comes out? Because no matter how many times people have said what has gone on with Michael Jackson, People still play his music on the radio. I have his music downloaded on my iTunes, but honestly, a lot of the joy has been taken away from it, listening to it, because I believe a lot of what's been said. I don't know.
I believe I can fly.
And that's R. Kelly. And we're not allowed to enjoy that song anymore because he's a horrible person.
I know. Wasn't that on the Space Jam soundtrack?
Yes.
Was it R. Kelly's version? Yeah.
Yes.
I used to listen to that
all
the time.
About Michael Jordan.
I listen to that all the time.
I know, it's a shame. And you know how I feel about Remix to Ignition. That's one of our go-to karaoke songs. You can never do that again.
Which one?
It's I can do it.
Well, give me some.
The Remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen, mama rolling that body.
Don't rap it, sing it.
I can't sing it because I don't want to do that. Got every man in here wishing, sipping on Coke and rum. I'm like, so what? I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. Bounce, 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 bounce. You know the song. It's great.
Save
R. Kelly's a perv.
all that.
Anyway.
We are going to clip that audio. That will be sent to White Cheddar.
All right. Well, maybe you can send it by mail.
Good stuff,
And
babe.
if you do send that audio clip by mail, you know what you don't have to do? Go to the post office.
Nope.
It's stamps.com.
Stamps.com.
Everything you do at the post office, you can do from the convenience of your home or your small office if you're a small business owner. Because that's the thing about owning your own small business. You rely on the post office to get your packs out, to get mailers out. But everything to make a post office run, because you are a small office, that's time consuming. And sometimes the post office closes and you end up riding with your packages in your car for 2 weeks. So stamps.com removes that hassle. They bring all those services from the post office to you. And the great thing is you're saving money. You get discounts with stamps.com you can't get at the post office. You can print any US postage, international post for any class of mail, even big packages. You get it ready to go. The postal worker either picks it up, your mail carrier, or you can drop it off in a post box. It's that simple. 5 off every first class stamp, up to 40% off priority mail. You don't get that at the post office. You get it with stamps.com.
And right now, listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and digital scale we love so much without any long-term commitment. So just go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the home page and type in sandwich. That's stamps.com for sandwich.
Yes.
Love stamps.com.
Now, I know we're going to talk about wills, but I know also we put off reading our listener mail last week and we ran out of time.
Are we doing letters?
So do you want to call Audible and do some listener here and then we'll get to our wills? I think throw a wrench into the plan.
No.
I don't want to put those off again.
I think the listener letters this week are really good, and we'll talk. Yeah, if we get to it, we get to it. If we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we can do that.
Right. And maybe Emma Kelly will hear what I'm leaving to her and come down and make her wishes be known.
I hope she doesn't get too excited. Yeah, we have letters.
We do.
Brought to us by sweets.com, the headquarters of Canada Media. Did you know that, babe?
I did.
And we're
I did know that.
We're moving offices already.
That's great. A brand new office building.
Canada's rocking and rolling. Yeah, we're moving into a new WorkSuites.com office on Monday, March the 4th, over in Plano.
Yeah.
So thank you, WorkSuites.com. Okay, let's see. Our first letter. Oh, this is a don't use my name.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So this one is from
Anonymous.
Leah. Leia's subject is age differences in a relationship. Dear Kellie and Allen, I am dating a guy that I used to work with. We have worked together for 6 years and became really close. We were best friends and talked and hung out. Well, now we've decided to give dating a shot, and boy, it is amazing. We both really love each other and are ready to telling our friends and our family about us. Okay. We have kept it a secret because of our age difference. He is 40. I am 23. The happiest age. I know. That sounds insane, but he is so sweet and caring and amazing. I don't mind the age difference, and neither does he. However, we are a little scared to tell people. His mom now knows, and a few of our mutual friends know, and they are all really supportive. We are mostly worried about my parents. Of Question. Here's the question. Do you have any thought or advice on how to make my parents okay with the decision to date him if they're upset with the age? Do y'all think age matters? Am I crazy for dating someone 16 years older than me? Oh, I almost forgot. My mom knew about a guy I was seeing before this who was 14 years older. And a few months ago, she asked me if the guy I'm currently seeing is my boyfriend. Is that a good sign that she thought he was? Thank you so much. Love the podcast. I'm obsessed. I listen to you as soon as they come out. You guys make my day. Keep doing what you're doing. Please don't use my name.
We won't.
Leia.
I hope it's not Leia. So here's my opinion on that. I've dated older. I've dated younger.
As have I.
And here's my thing when it comes to love. If you are embarrassed, ashamed, scared, I think a mature love would be able to go to your parents and say, this is the man I'm in love with. And you would be able to face your parents because you're confident in that love. Do you see does that make sense? I've had to, in a couple of not my current relationship at all, but I've had to face my parents who did not approve of a relationship, but I didn't hide it from them. Because if you're in love with someone, you should be willing to stand on a rooftop and shout it to everyone, even your parents. And I just feel like with that confidence and freedom, then I don't think I'm articulating this very well at all. But that's my opinion, that if it's true love and it's solid and you're confident in that love, then you would be confident to tell your parents what's there to be afraid of. They're going to cut you out, cut you off, because biblically speaking, when if this is heading toward marriage, you leave your family and cleave to your husband, right? That's your family. You leave that behind. Now, what's other than the age difference? Is there any other reason? Because that's 17 years. My best friend since 5th grade is married to a man 17 years older than she, proper English. Mm-hmm. And they have a great relationship. Yeah. They have 2 beautiful children who are about to be seniors in high school. And it's been a wonderful relationship.
Now here's the deal, though.
She was confident in that relationship and she didn't hide it from anybody.
Here's the deal, though. This dude's going to kick the bucket about 2 years before you.
Well, that is a possibility, but tomorrow is not promised to any of us. It's not promised to any of us.
I'm just going by the averages.
And you're already projecting him in diapers in a nursing home. That's okay, cool. That's probably a good 35, 40 years from now, if he has a good run. Yeah. That's a long time to someone. My whole thing is, if you're embarrassed to go to your parents, then I don't think you are emotionally mature to be in that type of relationship. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. No, it makes sense to me, babe. I agree with you. I was just making a joke. But
that's the exact same age difference as Tommy Jean and her husband.
Yeah. I have never really thought a swing in age really a big deal. When I see people, I don't even think about it. When I would date women that were, older than me, younger than me, I didn't even really think about it. It's just not something I think about a lot, is ages of people.
Right. And Tommy Jean did have this issue with Greg. He turned prematurely gray. Right. So not only was he 17 years older at first, when they got together, he was mistaken to be her father quite a bit. And you just have to laugh at it and laugh it off, and don't think don't get all offended and people are insulting you. They're just making an assumption. So anyway, I think it's a workable relationship, but I wouldn't have, if the relationship gives you fear and trepidation that you can't go to your parents, that's an unhealthy relationship there as well. At 23, you're supposed to be cutting those ties and being independent and being able to love who you love.
The bottom line is, do you love the person, or is the age such a concern that takes away from your love of that person? Why, if you really are truly in love with somebody that's 17, 20 years older than you, like you're saying, I'm just kind of parroting back what you're saying, mm-hmm. But why would that be a concern of yours? Right. Now, it can get a little silly with some age differences.
Oh yeah, 70 and 20.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what the deal is there.
That's silly. That, to me, that's like, somebody looking for money. But when you're talking 40 and 23, there's an age difference. I guess if I were in that situation, is that, man, my concern, it doesn't sound like there's a concern here. My concern would be more, can we identify with each other for the long term?
Mm-hmm.
Dating, hey, it's fun. Guys love dating younger women. That's great. They think it's great. It's fun. Makes you look good,
Yeah.
All that's cool. But on a long-term basis, can you identify with each other?
Yeah, when he's 60 and she's, do the math, 43,
mm-hmm.
and he's done with the, going out and doing things, are they still going to have the same in common? I don't know. You want to project that far in the future? Who knows?
Yeah.
But right now he's probably at 40. That's about a time some men start going through that midlife crisis. They want to feel younger, and they surround themselves with younger people like yourself. And I'm not saying his feelings for you aren't genuine. I'm just saying that he's attracted to youth because that makes him feel younger. You could be very mature for your age, which attracts you to him. I don't know.
But do we know he's attracted to youth? We don't know that.
We don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm just kind of assuming that because, a lot of guys, let's be real, a lot of guys like dating younger women.
Yeah.
Especially guys in their 40s and 50s.
Right, because they don't usually have when I first moved to Dallas, I dated an older gentleman, and he said the reason he liked dating younger, and I was 27 and he was 40 something. He was in his early 40s. And he told me he liked dating younger women because we haven't experienced everything. So he could, the older women his own age had already been there, done that. And he could show me things like he bought me my very first martini. I'd never had a martini. And he thought that was just great that he could show me that. He took me to my first jazz club, and he said it was fun for him to get to experience things new again because he was introducing me to those things. And there's an appeal in that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have the baggage. I hadn't been married before. I wasn't bringing kids into the relationship. So anyway,
here's something. Just while we're on this subject,
mm-hmm.
Here's a random factoid that I've never told you. Never told you this.
Is it bigger than the fact that you don't like bananas?
Well, it's just something you never knew. When I first moved to Dallas, I was around 20, 21 years old. Let's see. When I was 22, I met a woman and dated her for, I'd say, about a year, because this was before I was married the first time. I was either 21 or 22. She was 36.
Wow.
And I was 21, 22.
Yeah.
And just thinking about it a long time, I mean, I never really thought, she was older,
yeah,
but
there was a sexiness.
But then it was kind of cool too,
yeah.
But it was one of those things. Now that I look back, I don't know that would have worked out long term.
Mm-hmm.
How old would she be now? I'm 47. She was. How many more years is that?
What was she?
She was 36. I was 21.
So 15.
I'm 47. 5. She's 60. What did I just say?
Yeah, 60 I'm tired. I can't do basic math.
60 something. So anyway, it goes.
Not that you couldn't be attracted to. See, if you truly love someone,
right.
Everything's going to start sagging and bagging, and gray hairs come. And it's not about that. It's about having a common ground and mutual interest and communication. All right. So if we beat that letter to death.
Thank you, Leah. That was a good one.
If you're in love with them, go to your parents with confidence. And no matter what they say, you'll be like, I love my man.
Okay. I hope we haven't read this one before. I don't think we have.
Well, engaged only a serious relationship.
We haven't read this one.
I don't know, honey. No, because it just came in the mail. It just came. We haven't read it.
No, it came the 19th. This is the 27th.
I know, but we haven't done mail in over a week.
Ask Allen anything. Produce it on the fly. This one is from Jamie.
Does Jamie care that her name is out there?
She didn't say don't use it.
There you go. That's my assumption as well.
She says, hi, Alan and Kelly.
Oh, thanks.
I really enjoy listening to a sandwich twice a week, and it's something I truly look forward to.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I know that you have said that
you need to increase the font or put your readers on.
Yeah, I know that y'all have said that you want to use your story to help give other people hope. That is true. I am 39, never married or engaged, and have had only one serious relationship. As a Christian, this is though, since many friends...
Honey, put your readers on.
Yeah, I'm having a problem
let me
here,
read
guys.
it.
Yeah, I'm having this issue here. Bear with me. As a Christian, this is tough. I think she meant to say tough, since so many of my friends have been married in their 20s and it's easy to feel out. I have tried just about every dating site out there, have joined countless social groups, co-ed sports teams, volunteer efforts, church outings, etc. But I just feel like God has forgotten me and I'm losing hope. When I go out on dates, guys seem to be weirded out by the fact that I've never been married, almost like there must be something wrong with me. It seems like not having a divorce under my belt or being a single mom works against me. I'm in great shape, fun to be around, active, have lots of friends. Do you have any advice, insight, or encouragement on how to keep hope alive? That would be appreciated. I am just at a strange in-between age where people think my clock must be ticking feverishly. Maybe I have luck when I am in my 40s. Sorry if I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I can't read, Jamie.
We got the gist.
Yeah, thanks for all you do to provide your listeners with entertaining and helpful show content.
I'll tell you, there were times when I felt forgotten by God. I think everybody, when they get in the depths of depression, when your love life's happening and you're like, God, the only desire of my heart is to find love and not die alone and all that stuff, and you feel like God forgot you, and He hasn't forgotten you. We know that intelligently, but sometimes emotions get the best of us. But I'll tell you the truth, I had the best time in my 40s. I dated, had a wonderful time. I really comes into her own in her 40s. Now, what you're doing, okay, there's going to have to be a way you can look at yourself objectively. And on these dates, how are you presenting yourself in these dates? Are you confident about, I haven't been married? There's got to be a way to address that it doesn't make it feel like you're embarrassed by it. Because if it doesn't bother you, it's their problem. If you're like, I haven't met the right one, and when the person comes along that deserves my love, I will give that man that attention. Sometimes we have to take an honest look at ourselves and how, because it doesn't sound like you're lacking for dates, right? Are you listening to me?
I am.
It doesn't sound like she's lacking for dates, but something must be happening on dates that you could maybe do better, that doesn't send them running the other way because you say, they think there's something wrong with me because I've never been married before. Well, maybe that's because you think something's wrong with you because you've been married before. Confidence goes a very long way, and confidence is a very sexy attribute. Agree?
I agree.
Do you have something to contribute to that?
I do, because this would ask Allen anything.
You said Aunt Kelly.
And she said, hi, Allen.
Aunt Kelly. Well, when you finish reading a letter here, it's my turn to talk.
It's okay. I'm just joking.
Okay. Well, now I'll let you talk. But when you finish reading here, it's my turn to talk.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I'll wait.
Maybe if they're Ask Allen anything, maybe you should read the letters, because I couldn't read it anyway.
I'll be happy to do that.
Yeah. No, gosh, I was just thinking, I was thinking while you were talking. That's why I was kind of zoned out. But everyone's path, one thing I've learned, everyone's path is different. There's, you think, I'm in my 40s, I've never been married, there's got to be something wrong with me, and my friends think that. That's not true. I don't think that that's true. My path was not anything like I thought it would ever be. Ever. I never thought that life would take me all the directions it did to where I am now, to where I'm happy now. I've met somebody, my wife, that we connect on so many levels and on and on and on, and I just feel very, very happy. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I would have never thought that it would turn out the way it did for me. So I guess my point is, you can't lose hope, because you can't predict your future, and it's hard for you. I know when you're not going on the dates, you see other people going on the dates, and you're starting to advance in your age a little bit. You think, well, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you.
Right. It's
just you're not finished. Your story isn't finished.
Right. And when you get to your happy ever after, it'll all make sense how you got there.
Yeah.
But you haven't gotten there yet. But don't give up hope. When I hear women in their 30s say they're giving up hope, and I get it for the childbearing stuff, that's tough.
Well, that's something I can't speak to.
Yeah, that's a tough thing.
Right.
It's a heartache that I experienced, and I thought I missed my boat, and through the miracle of in vitro fertilization and God's intervention, I have Emma Kelly. But my point is you have to take an assessment of yourself. How are you projecting yourself on these dates as the confident, sexy woman you are, and men will respond to that. So you might have to do a little bit of work on yourself. And also, what I keep telling ladies, the best place to meet really attractive and available and successful men. Alan, you know what I'm going to say?
Yep. Steakhouses.
Steakhouses during happy hour, not during lunch rush. Everybody goes to these steakhouses and places during lunch, and men are literally there doing business during lunch. They're not looking at women. But at happy hour, they just got clock. They want to unwind. They don't want to go home to either an empty house because maybe their children are off with their mom or something like that. Happy hour steakhouses.
So Kellie's got some great advice there. I've heard her say those things before, but I guess my input is just don't lose hope, because like in my case, I mean, I was a divorced dad with 3 kids in my mid-40s. And I'm thinking, who in the hell?
I was a divorcee at 40 with a 6-month-old baby.
Right. So
I thought nobody would.
So
want
both
me.
of us are in our respective situations are thinking, who in the hell is going to want to go out with me?
A 40-year-old with a baby.
Yeah, and a mid-40 man who's got to work a lot, who's got 3 kids he's got to take care of back and forth. So, you know, when you're in the middle of that, you just cannot see what could happen. So you just have to, it's easy to say now, I guess, but you just have to keep that hope that your story isn't finished.
Yeah, it's not finished. And you got to do the work on you. Because if you're doing stuff that's good for you and stuff that you love doing, you're going to invite good things into your life. It's the truth. When it rains, it pours. And when stuff's going good stuff keeps happening. And then when stuff's dark and depressing, you start attracting that. Like attracts like. So that's all.
That's right.
Good luck. Don't give up hope. And please let us know when you find love. Because we're rooting for you.
Those were our 2, babe. They were good.
That was good. Those were very good ones. Now, to the sad topic of death. We're going to die someday, babe. And like I said, unless the good Lord comes back and sweeps us up. But it is inevitable. And the thing that I have experienced, I remember as a child when my grandparents died, the Rasberries, grandmama and granddaddy Rasberry, it was ugly. Because my grandparents did not have much. They really didn't. They were, my grandfather was a sharecropper and just never had a lot of money. They lived in a very small house. Some of the kids, you know, paid for them to live in this house. And it was just, they didn't have much. But they had a music box and a lantern and a sewing machine. You would not believe the fights those kids got into over these little household items because they didn't have a will where they spelled out what they wanted the people to have. Now, some of them swear, Mama told me I could have that. She said that could be mine. Well, we're going to take your word for it? No. You know, it was really, really a bad scene. We don't want that. If you love the people in your life, you don't want that for them either.
Yeah, I think you do a will, you know, when you get to a point where you know you're going to have some things when you pass, and you don't want the family fighting over them. And you also things that mean something to you that you definitely want a certain person to have.
Sentimental.
Because they're family heirlooms or family items.
Or very valuable.
Yeah, and you want them to be passed down. And like Kellie said, I had a family situation. My dad's dad, my grandma, Evans, she died pretty young. She died in her early 60s from cancer. And my grandpa, he remarried a woman that when I was a kid, I always thought things were good, but my dad did not like this woman at all. And my dad,
he saw things you didn't understand as a child.
He could see things that I didn't understand at all. And my dad's brother didn't like her either. And make a long story short, when my granddad passed, he didn't have a will. So she, in the state they lived in, she had control of all his stuff. Mm-hmm. And because there was, I think, some animosity between the 2 parties there, there were a lot of things that I remember my granddad telling me that, you know, I want you to have that, I want your dad to have this and that. And
he trusted that it would just happen.
He trusted that it would happen. Yeah. We never saw any of it. I didn't care about that part. I didn't care that, you know, there was a antique bedroom set that he told me one time, hey, look, I want you to have this so you can keep it in the family. You know, it just made me sad that his wishes weren't honored, and they weren't honored because they weren't on paper. You know, they had to be on paper, not just verbally.
Yeah.
So that's what happened in my situation. So Kelly and I, now that we've combined things and we have 4 kids between us, and Kelly has investments, I have investments, we have property and all that adult stuff. You got to think about, well, if you keep growing this over another 20 years, what do you do with it all when you die?
Yeah.
So that's why you have to put together a will. And
it's one thing to say, okay, if I die, everything goes to Alan. And then, okay, what if he marries some other woman that's like, well, okay, well, this is all mine now. There's a certain thing. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I don't know. Look what happened to your grandfather. You probably won't be as wise in your choice of wife number 3. So I wanted to make sure that Emma Kelly got certain things. Like there's this little red rocking chair that my daddy got when he was about 3 years old that was passed down to me, that I'm passing down to Emma Kelly. And I want her to understand how important that red rocking chair is, that nobody just throws it away, that's supposed to stay in the family. A little thing, but a huge sentimental value. And then like my Rolex watch. Where is that going to go? Yeah, I dropped a dime. It's my wedding gift.
You just dropped a dime?
That's like one of the most expensive things I own.
Whoa.
That's one of the most expensive things I own.
The Rolly.
And I want Emma Kelly, to have those things. So that's the kind of stuff. So it's sentimental stuff. It's about the money stuff. So there's no question about it. And there was also you went online and found what service did you use?
It's called Willmaker.
Willmaker.
I think it's made by the same company that does TurboTax, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to go to a lawyer to do this kind of stuff. It was pretty easy. It's just time.
It interviews you. It asks you a bunch of questions. Like
you fill out the questions.
You fill out the questionnaire, and it spits out the legal documents, basically.
And you get it notarized.
And then you get it notarized.
And you have to give copies to people that like I give one to my brother, you'll give one to your sister, we'll give a copy. You give copies to people so they're not searching, where's the will? Where's the will?
Now, I know
he wanted me to have this.
We're not giving legal advice here.
No, we're not.
If you have questions about a will, you should talk to your lawyer.
Yeah.
But I did some research. I thought, well, we need a will. We can do it this way because it's basically going to interview us. And our situation isn't super complicated.
It's not.
It's really not that complicated.
Bored.
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh, what else? Because you have to start thinking about things. Oh, why do I have to think about that? What kind of do?
Yeah.
Like, as far as pulling the plug, do you want somebody to pull the plug on you? Measure. Those are the kind of questions that you need to address. And you need to address them when everybody's young and healthy and not mad at each other. Because if you ask me one day who's going to pull the plug, I'd be like, me first. And then another day when, we're rational, what would you like?
But when you're for the second time and you have a blended family, say Kelly and I get hit by a bus tomorrow, then what happens to the money? What happens to the house? What happens to the kids? Who do those to? Is that clear? Are your wishes spelled out clearly?
A lot of times when you're divorced, they automatically go back to the other partner. But you have to say, there's even, what if that?
What if he gets hit by a bus? Then what do you do? Yeah.
But it asks you all the questions. It asks, Alan has made it abundantly clear to me what he wants done with his body in death. This form went so far as to ask Alan what he wanted on his tombstone.
Yes.
And even if it hadn't asked, I already know the answer to that because he's made that abundantly clear well.
My body lies, but stone.
That's it, people.
It's from a Metallica song.
I have to put it on a plaque and stick it in the ground because Alan wants to be in a root ball.
It's in my will. Yeah, and I want my ashes. I want them planted in a root ball in an oak tree.
So I have to put a plaque somehow. Yeah. So when the tree grows, plaques on the tree, I guess.
And the oak tree lives for like 500 years. I can keep going for a little while on that tree.
Yeah.
That's my thought process anyway. I don't know if I'll be conscious or not, but
I think I said cremate me because it's cheaper. And did I say bury me? What did I say? I forget. You had the option of being, if you're cremated, to be above ground, below ground, scattered,
or
given urn to the family.
Yeah, give an urn to the family. I don't remember what I
said right this moment.
I don't want to be on the mantle. Okay.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
I don't want you on the mantle either.
That's creepy.
But I also don't want you growing in my backyard when I bring over my new honey. It's
no,
what an interesting tree. That's my dead husband.
No, I want it to be on a golf course park.
Do I have to get permission?
I don't know. That's for you to figure out. I'll be dead.
I think I've told the story on the podcast before. I'm not sure. We were in Disney World this last time that a lot of people's wishes are to be scattered on rides at Disney World. And it happens more often than told than we care to, because the park employees don't know this. But one of the rides that it's done on quite a bit is the haunted house, the haunted mansion at Disney World. So a lot of times when the ride gets shut down and you think it's for technical difficulties, it's because there's dead people ashes that they have to get cleaned up.
Wow.
Ew! Isn't that awful?
It's kind of creepy. It's very creepy, actually.
Because you can inhale that and it's not good. So anyway, that's just a little side note. I do not have Disney World confirmation on that, so please don't sue me. That was completely gossip, but I believe it.
So that's Will Talk, babe. It's a little weird to talk about.
It's gross, but I think, what this is one of our more responsible podcasts. We have encouraged you to get more sleep so you'll be happier and healthier and live a longer life, but eventually you're going to kick the bucket, and we want everybody you love to not have to deal with the stress. It's stressful enough to lose someone they love than having to fight over the stuff. That was very helpful. And we solved love problems.
And we've talked about on other podcasts on how you need your bucket list so you don't get to the point when you're about to kick the bucket, you're regretting all the things you wish you had done.
Yes.
So make the bucket list too.
Do that too. All right. Speaking of sleep, wow. I eat really well when I sleep, as little as I sleep, because we're sleeping on Brooklyn and sheets. This is one of the things I post comments on my social media. Brooklyn and sheets, we talk about, they're like the luxury sheets you sleep on in hotels that you want to go to the front desk and say, how can I buy these sheets and take them home with me? And usually like, well, you can't. With Brooklyn and sheets, you're getting that high quality of sheet. You're not paying the stupid, ridiculous prices, because in the department stores, they're marking them up as much as 300%. But this husband and wife team decided, no, we cut out the middleman. We do this online, and we can sell those same quality sheets for so much less. In fact, they've been named the best of online bedding by Good Housekeeping. They got over 30,000 five-star reviews. You have to try it to believe it for yourself. And they actually have a lifetime guarantee on these sheets, a limited lifetime guarantee. You can't go wrong with Brooklyn and sheets.
No, you can't. We love ours. And Brooklyn and sheets are the best, most comfortable sheets we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for you to upgrade. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. Get $20 off and free shipping when you use the promo code, Kellie.
Kellie.
Promo code Kellie at brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so confident in their product that all of their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty.
Oh, not limited. It is lifetime.
Lifetime. The only $20 off and free shipping is to use that promo code Kellie at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Code Kellie.
They really are the best sheets. There's Brooklyn and sheets.
They really.
Try it and let us know what you think.
They're great. We love Brooklinen.
I love you.
I love you.
Glad you're still alive. Hopefully a lot longer.
Well, I don't plan on checking out anytime soon.
Well, I'm going to go check out for tonight because I'm going to go to bed. There's a lot of stuff I want to watch on TV tonight. Man, The Real Housewives of Jersey. By the time you listen to this, this is already played, but we're recording it while the part 2 of the reunion's on. So I'm missing that, but I'm going to hold off and watch tomorrow so I get a good night's sleep.
Do you know what Metallica song that inscription comes from?
I don't, but I do know it's Metallica.
Carved upon my stone.
Oh, it's about it.
My body lies, but still I roam. Yeah, yeah. Da, 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 da. Da,
Do you want me
da,
to do like, I know we can do fancy things with tombstones where like if you press a button, that song will start playing on your tombstone.
No, but here's something I'm going to put in my will, and then we'll sign off after this because this will be an ender.
Well, you need to go back and add it because I thought we were done.
I want somebody at my funeral.
No, I know what you're going to say. No.
Yes.
No.
I want somebody to just show up dressed like the Grim Reaper, stand next to my casket, but don't say anything.
All right. Well, it's been documented on the podcast.
All right.
So hopefully one of your podcast fans will do that because I am not going to hire.
I'll bet you there's a member of a Sandwiches and Lovin Nation that'll do that for me someday. They'll do that for me someday.
We might have a plethora of Grim Reapers show up
Oh,
with the big sickles.
Oh, that is so
right.
That is so disturbing.
Why do you want that?
I don't. It's just funny to think about.
When you say it and people think you're serious, I want to be sitting there grieving and I have to look up at this guy standing there with a sickle.
But he's not saying anything.
And a black face I can't see, a black mask.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
With a black mask, the Grim Reaper, you can't see him.
You can't see his face.
Everybody knows what I meant. Oh
All
my
right.
gosh. The Grim Reaper. You know, my daddy boy was visited by the angel of death.
The angel of death?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was one of those Nazis.
My daddy boy, a few days before he died, he was lying in bed. My mother tells it much better than I do because it's her daddy, my daddy boy. He was lying in bed and he was awakened because he felt some presence, and she said that she looked up and this cloaked, shrouded thing with the black face, you can't see. There's like no face there. It's just blackness. And it came over, and there were two more standing in the door, and the one came over him and got down right in his face, and then stood up and shook its head no and left. He was dead within a week.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't his time that night. Do y'all believe that stuff? He told that.
It was almost his time.
He died when I was 2 months old, so I never knew my daddy boy. That was Mother Price's husband.
Wow.
So anyway, on that happy note.
All right. Well, that's a good way to end it there, babe. And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich. Bye.
I need to get Mama to tell that story for Halloween.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, an angel of death came to see him.
This whole podcast was disturbing.
It was helpful, I thought. The ghost game.
I think we're having problems again with the connection. I don't get it. I don't understand what is happening. That's why I was.
I know. That's why I kept talking, and I
piddling around.
I applaud you for plowing through and not bringing attention to it. So I don't know, honey. Are you on the orb?
Yeah, we're on this orb right here.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we're about to just move everything in the office, and we're going to set this son of a bitch right next to the router that comes in from the wall.
I don't know why we're not doing it there anyway.
Oh, this is ticking me off.
Why don't we do it from in there?
Well, we're going to start doing that. We're going to get 2 chairs. We're going to get mic stands. We're going to backdrop.
Sounds good to me.
I don't know.
Facebook is working again, apparently.
Michael, yeah, I mean, Emma Kelly's here. I know she's on her phone because I have an app where I can see everything that's connected. The only thing that was taking up a lot of bandwidth would be this broadcast here. But I mean, we've got smart TVs connected. We've got thermostats connected. Emma Kelly's phone's connected. Kelly's laptop is connected, but it's not anything. Her phone's connected. My phone's connected.
We're on it.
So there's a lot of stuff connected, but the only things that I know of that are active right now are this laptop and Emma Kelly's phone right now.
Should I turn off the Wi-Fi connection on my phone and laptop when we're getting ready to do it with?
I don't know. Maybe
if we're not using it.
I did the browser. I didn't do the OBS this time because we panicked. We weren't ready to do it on Facebook. We didn't know if we should or not. I wanted it if we start doing it in my office. That's where the main router is. This laptop, this is more info than you guys want to know, I know, but the laptop is connected to my satellite router here. It's this dude. I was telling Michael, we had lunch the other day. I was telling him, dude, I spent like $1,000 trying to get this fixed. But I'm connected to a satellite, and the satellite's connected to a router in the office. I'm going to get this thing. I can get an Ethernet adapter, plug directly, hardwire this thing into the router in the office. I mean, that's the only thing I know how to do. I'm just going to wire right into that thing. So we're piping this directly into the internet, and it's not Wi-Fi. I don't know. I don't understand. It's driving me crazy. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to fix it while we were talking, but I was having to listen and then try to fix it at the same time. And I disconnected it and then connected it to a different satellite. And then you guys said, well, I can't see anything now. And then I just shut it down and then restarted it. And I knew I was going to lose a lot of people when I did that. So sorry. I don't know. I'm going to shoot that trouble. I'm going to shoot that trouble right in the ass. Oh, thanks, Michael. No, don't be sorry, Julie. I got to get it fixed. Not y'all's thing to worry about. I'm the one that needs to get it fixed.
All Allen.
That's right. Well, it's frustrating. You know how it is when you want to watch something and then it's like, I was trying to watch something we watched The Staircase last night.
It kept cutting off.
I was like,
rebooting in the middle of it.
Yeah, and I was like, well, this is a bunch of crap.
By the way, The Staircase is so boring. It's so poorly edited. It's so poorly edited. Man, editors don't get enough credit. It's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like The Staircase, really interesting story. It really is an interesting case, but the way that show is edited, they spent 5 minutes watching everyone walk from the garage where they park their cars, the lawyers and what's the guy's name? Peterson? Not Randy Peterson.
Scott Peter. Steve. What are we talking about? Mike? What are we talking about? I have a question.
The guy is
It's Mike, isn't it?
accused of killing it.
Isn't it Mike?
Mike Peterson?
Isn't it?
I don't know. Anyway, they spent 5 minutes watching that guy and his lawyers walk from the garage where they park their cars into the courthouse. And they spent another 30 seconds watching them walk onto the elevator. I'm sitting there, why are they showing all this? It's like, this has nothing to do with the story. Just we're watching people walk.
Or deciding how they're going to plant flowers at the gravesite and stuff. It's all this stuff that has nothing to do with the trial and it's just, I don't know.
It's strange. It's strange editing. Just curious, guys, for anybody who's still on here and you're listening, are you seeing the video? Is the quality okay? What do you see on your side? Frozen again? Unreal. Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing this in the office. Clear now, Donna? Good. Yeah. Well, at least it's not like Facebook was, where the entire time it looked like snow. Michael says you need to watch the Darlie Routier thing they did on ABC. Hulu.
You remember, Darlie? I met her mother. We were going down to Austin and we were eating at a restaurant just outside of Austin. Her mother was there. And of course, she doesn't think her daughter did it. But that was really interesting because it was, man, we talked about it a lot. You remember the Darlie Routier story? Y'all think she did it? Her mother doesn't.
Devices can cause interference. Maybe next time we do this, we'll shut off our phones and your laptop just to make sure. That'll cut out 3 connections. Not that they're being used, but maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. All right. Paradise Lost? What's Paradise Lost?
Somebody recommended that. It has something to do, it has a lot of Metallica music in it. Somebody said that. I made a note of it, but I don't know what it's about.
Carved upon my stone. My body lies, but still I roam. Yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. Yeah, Jacob, I did follow that, actually. I read a couple of books on the Jean Bonnet thing. Boy, that was a screwed up case. The police and just how the crime scene was jacked with, and everything about that was messed up. But I know those parents, they knew who did it. I don't think they did it, but I know yeah, I think it was the brother. But they knew who did it. That's right. The wrenches. That's the A Sandwich and Some Lovin' Mafia.
Hmm?
The wrenches are the A Sandwich and Some Lovin' Mafia.
The wrenches?
The people that have the wrenches in the chat
room. Oh, they have wrenches? Is that the little symbols? I haven't seen it. I'm sorry, I'm sitting here answering messages that I'm trying to get to.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't get it. I got a really fast laptop here. I got a fast upload and download speeds in the house. So I just, other than hardwiring this thing into the main router, I guess that's my next step. So we'll try that next time. So I need an adapter, I need an Ethernet cable, and I need 2 chairs in the office.
I was just answering a message. I'm going to go back to the AMS studios next week to shoot some footage for a Heather Locklear,
Oh, cool.
Price of Fame. So every Sunday night, I don't know if y'all have the Reels channel. They're doing the Price of Fame, and this week up against the Oscars was Selena Gomez one, but I think they were replaying it tonight. It replays a lot on the Reels channel, so look it up. Go to REELZ, reelschannel.com. It'll tell you what channel it's on if it's in your area. And I don't know who's this Sunday night, but I'm still doing so.
It's awesome, man.
Heather Locklear taping next week. I don't know when that'll be available. So
that's really cool.
I'm all over Selena Gomez one though. I hope the family had at me about it. I didn't say anything mean. I love Selena.
They fed you the lines, man.
No, I said a lot of stuff.
Oh, you did? You added your own color? I thought they gave you.
They talk because of some of these are met for, but I understand what their experience is. But they do the show. They thoroughly research it, and because they don't want to, get in trouble for anything they say. So it's very thoroughly researched. But anyway, the Price of Fame. Yay!
Check her out. Anna, yeah, we missed the class too. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Mel, thank you. We love you too. All right, guys. To the Secret Service, thank you for being here and looking after things. And I promise I'm going to get this thing fixed. If it's the death of me, I'm going to get this thing fixed. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.